in Spain. I'm in Spain. And I'm thirsty all the time. Thirsty all the time. It's really hot here. Right now I'm in my room of my host family's house. Everything is different here. So many things are new. I'm experiencing something new every day, whether it be a food, meeting a new person, or seeing something that I've never seen before. So I wrote down some things of my experience or whatever, and I'm going to share with you. Okay, first of all, I just wanted to say real quick that everybody says that planes are so cold. Like, make sure you prepare for the tundra of the plane. Like, no, okay? The plane I got on to go from New York to Madrid, it wasn't hot, but it was not cold by any means. It was very room temperature. I was in like a t-shirt and shorts, and I was absolutely fine. And it didn't get cold until like 2 or 3 hours in, and that's when I was like, okay, I want my sweatshirt. But I had a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and I didn't even put on the sweatpants at all. The flight was not bad at all. I slept a few hours. I like forced myself to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep at first, but I was like, I'm so tired, I need to sleep. So I slept, and then I woke up, and there was food, and I'm gonna show you all of that in my videos. So 2 thoughts were going through my head when I was walking through the airport. The first one was, where the heck is customs? Everybody tells me when you get off the plane, the first thing you see is customs, and that's like the first thing you walk to. But no, I had to walk like a whole mile through the airport before I figured out where customs was. And maybe I'm an idiot, but my second thing that I was thinking was, when are they gonna stamp my passport? Because my passport has no stamps, and this was gonna be my first stamp, and I was waiting for them to stamp it. They stamp it at customs. They say that they're gonna ask you a bunch of questions at customs, and I know it's probably different for everyone, and I'm just like a wee little girl, and the guy was just like, give me your passport, and I gave him my passport. He stamped it, and he was like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, and I just went along. My host parents drove to the airport to pick me up, and when they got me, they welcomed me with huge hugs, and immediately we were smiling and laughing and just chatting it up. They took my bags, put it in their car, and we drove home, and they were like showing me everything as we drove by. It was a fun time. They're very, very nice. I love them. They are probably the nicest people I've met in my entire life, and the kids are too. So the first thing we did when we got here, the dad went to work, and the mom showed me around the house and showed me my room, showed me like how she keeps things. Before I even put anything away, she was like, let's go to the pool. So we went to the pool, and we just kind of talked. And after the pool, all of us, the dad came home from work, and then we all went and picked up the boy from school, and he was like, oh, he was so surprised that I was there, and he was really shy at first. Maybe an hour in, he came out of his shell, and you know, we were playing games and talking and everything. He speaks to me in Spanish a lot. Like, he'll just be like, blah, 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 in Spanish, and I'm just like, whoa, in English, and he's like, ah, and then he tries to say it in English. So then later on that night, the daughter came home from her school trip that she was on, and then we met, and then we all ate dinner. If you know, like, Spanish like tradition, they eat lunch at like 2 or 3, and they eat dinner at like 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. So we eat dinner really late, and then after dinner we just went straight to bed. So that was my first day. Oh, also, I'm supposed to speak Spanish with the parents and like their friends and like all the adults, and I'm supposed to speak English with all the kids. So at first I was like, funny, like, me speak Spanish? No way. Like, no comprende, you know? But I've taken how much Spanish, and I've spoken more in one day being in Spain than I did ever before in America. I am learning so much. I learned the word vale, means okay, and so we say it all the time, and I'm stringing together sentences so quickly now, it's crazy. So younger kids know, sometimes they know English, sometimes they don't know English, and like they'll just talk to me in Spanish, and I'm just like, en English? Or like the kids' friends. Older kids, like I met some teenagers, they like spoke to me in English, and they were like, oh, we feel so smart, we're just speaking English with you. I was like, well, I feel dumb because I don't know Spanish. Another thing, they give me so much food here. I'm eating all the time. I'm always trying new foods. Just yesterday I tried an exotic fruit. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a mix between a peach and an apple, and it was like flat, like round but flat. So the second day that I was here, all their friends, the parents' friends and their kids came over. That day we made paella, which is like the traditional Spanish food, and it's sort of like, if you're from New Orleans, you know, like jambalaya. It's sort of like jambalaya, but less spicy. It's not as dry as jambalaya. It tastes different, and they put shrimp in it and just whatever else they want. So then the next day, we went into the city to get my Metro card. Then they like took me around in the car, all around Madrid, the city, like not really for very long, just kind of like to introduce me so I can see. And then we came home and we went to the pool. Now, the pool is always poppin'. Like, kids are there 24/7. Like, this is the neighborhood go-to spot. And like, Madrid, it's so hot. People don't really like use their air conditioners in their house, or like, at least my family doesn't, which is not a big deal because it's not like the same kind of hot that you have in Louisiana where it's like hot and humid and you can't escape it. It's like, you know, when you're inside, like, it's not really a big deal. However, it does get really hot, so the pool is like the best way to cool off. And then today, where I just got back from, was the center of the city. I went into Madrid alone and I sort of just explored, and it was so much fun. One thing I noticed is that when you get into the center, like, of the big touristy spots, like in the plazas and everything, there's a Starbucks on every corner. Because I got to the city and I was like, okay, I need to find Starbucks. I don't know why it took me like 10 minutes to find a Starbucks, because after I found one, it was like I saw one on every street, on every block. There were so many Starbucks. And the sizes for Starbucks, it's not tall, grande, venti. It's short, which is like a little bit smaller than a tall, I think. And then they have tall, which is like the size of a grande. And then they have grande, which is like smaller than a venti. And in the center of the city, there's little boutiques and shops everywhere. Like, that's the main thing there is. I'm really scared of pickpocketing, so I would walk in the street, and if I got suspicious, I would just like go into a store and like shop around. Besides Starbucks and besides stores, there's tapas, which is like little food places, and bars and cafes everywhere. The buildings in Madrid are so pretty. They are gorgeous. Like, you go to New York and it's cool, it's pretty awesome, like, it's very exciting. But like, here, you could just sit and stare. I mean, you get really hot, so you don't do that. But like, it's so gorgeous. The architecture, like everything, it's amazing. So yes, I love Madrid. I love my host family. And I'll add a tip, because it's true that I didn't go into the city until after a few days of being here. So like, just knowing that like what I'm doing is I'm being an au pair. So I'm not here just to travel. I'm here to like do work for this family, but it's not really work because I love it. It's important to know, just if anyone is watching and you think you may want to be an au pair, that the most important thing is not where you are. It's not how close you are to the city or anything like that, but it's who your family is and how excited they are to have you and how nice they are as people, because they're the people you're going to be around the most. They're the only ones that can help you unless you want to talk to a stranger. So that is the most important thing to remember.